Chapter 6. Hermione Ganger stood in the middle of the courtyard, surrounded by the judging eyes of her neighbors. She let out a hollow, bitter laugh, her voice trembling with a mix of grief and exhaustion. "Am I even your flesh and blood?" Hermione cried out, the pain in her voice cutting through the heavy air. "Tell me, what kind of mother treats her own daughter like a stray dog?" A wave of hushed whispers rippled through the gathered crowd. For years, the villagers had secretly wondered what was wrong with Lisa Holemom. Sure, it was nice that she loved her late sister-in-law's daughter, Lily, but the way she treated her own flesh-and-blood daughter was downright cruel. Seeing the crowd turn against her, a flash of panic crossed Lisa's eyes. But she was a master of manipulation. In a split second, she threw herself onto the dirt floor, wailing and slapping the ground in a grand display of victimhood. "Oh, look at how she treats me. And after everything I've done." Lisa shrieked, tears flowing freely. "If I ever mistreated Goodmom's sweet little Lily, let lightning strike me down right now. Lily grew up with no mother, and her father is Lord knows where. Every single cent spent on that girl came straight from the inheritance her parents left behind. What did you want me to do? Steal from a dead woman to feed my own kid? I'm not a monster. Our family is poor, Hermione. I'm sorry we couldn't give you the life of a pampered princess. Everyone wears patched clothes. A little hardship when your young builds character. It's called discipline. I only wanted you to grow up strong and independent. But now I'm the villain. Our ancestors crossed frozen mountains and starved in the wilderness. Did they complain? Kids these days are just soft and spoiled. Can't handle a little cold, can't handle a little hunger. But boy, are they quick to cry foul. It's my fault. I'm just a poor, worthless mother. I failed you. Let me just bash my head against the wall and die." With a dramatic gasp, Lisa scrambled up and made a move to throw herself against the brick wall. Over by the base of the wall, Albus Ganger sat on his haunches, puffing on his pipe. His eyes were completely dead, filled with a deep, exhausting numbness. He didn't even blink. The neighbors rushed forward, joining Lily Ganger in grabbing Lisa before she could do any real damage. In the past, Hermione would have immediately swallowed her pride, broken down in tears, and begged for forgiveness. But not today. Today, she just stood there, her eyes ice-cold, watching her mother's theatrical performance until the older woman literally ran out of breath. Lily, playing the saint, turned to Hermione with a disapproving frown. "Hermione, you can beat me, you can hate me, I don't care. But you must apologize to Aunt Lisa. Respecting your elders is non-negotiable." Hermione let out a cold, sharp laugh. "Is that so? Well, since everyone is here to witness this, let's actually lay the cards on the table. Mom, Dad, exactly how much money did my aunt and uncle leave behind when they passed? Because last time I checked, it takes a hell of a lot of money to raise Lily like a rich city girl. Every time you buy her expensive clothes or hand her cash, you say it's from her inheritance. But when it comes to me, there's never a dime. I want to know, over the last 19 years, just how much money did she leave? Is it really enough to fund Lily's luxury lifestyle for 2 decades? Albus snapped his head up, his dead eyes suddenly alert. Lisa froze, a flicker of doubt crossing her face, but she quickly covered it by screeching at the top of her lungs. "It's enough to last her a lifetime. It was thousands of dollars. She can spend it however she damn well pleases. What, are you jealous? Let me tell you something, Hermione, a person needs to live with dignity. I won't tolerate you sniffing around your cousin's money." Hearing the astronomical amount, the neighbors gasped and started whispering among themselves. No wonder Lily lives like royalty. Her mother left her a fortune. Shit, with that kind of money, she never has to work a day in her life. She can buy whatever she wants. But honestly, Lisa is a saint for not letting her own daughter skim off the orphan's money. Chapter 7. Exactly. Lisa is as honest as they come. Anyone else would have pocketed that cash the second the sister-in-law died. Listening to the praise pouring in from the courtyard, Hermione's smirk only deepened. Fine. If she left that much money, and Lily is a full-grown adult now, why is she still taking up my space? Building a brand new house in this village only costs a little over $100. Lily, it's time for you to pack your bags and give me my room back. This house belongs to the Ganger family. I've been sleeping on the hard floor for 19 years while you sit on a mountain of cash and hog the only bedroom. Aren't you ashamed of yourself? And another thing, Mom. I've been teaching at the village elementary school for 2 years. I make $18 a month. That's a total of $420. You told me you were keeping it safe for when I needed it. Well, I need it now. Give it back. The color completely drained from Lisa's face. The truth was, she had received $3,000 from her late sister-in-law. But over the years, between household expenses, bailing out her own side of the family, and paying for her eldest son's wedding, there was barely anything left. That was exactly why she had kept a tight grip on Hermione's salary. Once money entered Lisa's pockets, it never came out. But with the whole village watching, she couldn't just say no. She forced a maternal, patronizing smile. Sweetheart, you're just a young girl. You don't know how to save money. I'm keeping it safe for your future. If you need some pocket money, I can give you $10 right now. No, Hermione snapped, refusing to back down. I don't want a single cent of Lily's money, but the money I earned? Why the hell should I give it up? If you won't give it back, I'm walking straight to the Women's Association right now. Let's see what the authorities have to say about a mother financially abusing her own daughter in this modern society. She turned to leave, and Lisa exploded into a string of curses. Finally, Albus snapped. He slammed his pipe down and roared, "Enough!" His face was dark with fury and shame. For years, he had turned a blind eye to Lisa's abuse of Hermione because Lisa always hit him with the same guilt trip. Would you rather see your dead sister's daughter suffer? But right now, in front of the entire neighborhood, the humiliation was unbearable. Albus glared at his wife. Give Hermione her money. Do it now, or pack your bags and go back to your mother's house. Lisa choked back her rage. Realizing she had lost this round, she stomped into the house and came back out, shoving a crumpled wad of cash into Hermione's hand. There's $100. That's all there is. You want more, you'll have to kill me for it. Giving up that $100 felt like cutting off a piece of her own flesh. Hermione took the money without a shred of gratitude. Beside them, Lily's sweet, gentle mask finally cracked. Fuming with rage, she spun on her heel and stomped off toward the bedroom. As the neighbors slowly dispersed, Hermione walked into the house. Before Lily could even lie down on the bed, Hermione grabbed Lily's pillow and hurled it out into the dirt. Lily's head hit the wooden bed frame with a loud, painful thud. "Oh, what the hell is wrong with you?" she shrieked. Hermione crossed her arms, looking down at her cousin with absolute disdain. "Get out. This room is mine now. I am the actual daughter of this house. If you want a private bedroom so badly, go use your inheritance and build yourself one." Lily bit her lip so hard it almost bled, cursing violently in her head. "You miserable, low-class bitch. I'm the real daughter of the Ganger family. You're just a blind, stupid idiot being played for a fool." But she couldn't say any of that out loud. Clutching her pillow to her chest, she burst into tears and ran to Lisa to complain. Chapter 8. In the main room, Lisa was already locked in a screaming match with Albus. "I did it for your dead sister," Lisa yelled, waving her arms around. "Lily is your niece. She lost her mother as a baby. She's tragic. What's wrong with giving her a little extra love? Hermione is our daughter. No matter how much we fight, blood is blood. But Lily? She has no one else." Albus's beard trembled with pure rage. "That doesn't give you the right to treat Hermione like a dog. Do you have any idea how much of a laughingstock we are in this village? Hermione is a young woman. She deserves some dignity." Lisa slapped her thighs and began to wail. "Oh, so now I'm the shameless one? I'm the monster. I married you, Albus Ganger. And what did I get? Have I had a single day of luxury? I tore my own heart out to give your sister's kid a good life, and this is the thanks I get? Fine. Let's kick Lily out. I'll only love Hermione from now on. Will that make you happy?" Albus stomped his foot in frustration. "You hysterical, vicious woman. There is no talking to you." He grabbed his tobacco pouch and stormed out into the night. The moment the door slammed, Lily slipped into the room, instantly wrapping her arms around Lisa. "Mom, is your tooth still hurting? I told you we can't keep Hermione around anymore. She has zero respect for you. I don't get what went wrong today. I literally slipped the aphrodisiac meant for pigs into her water, but that idiot Dustin Cortez couldn't even get the job done. If she doesn't get fired in a scandal, how am I supposed to take over her teaching job at the school?" Lisa had lost a tooth in the earlier scuffle, making her speech sound thick and slurred, but her eyes were venomous. Dustin Cortez is all muscle and no brains. Even if she calls the cops, it's his word against hers. As long as he keeps telling everyone they are sleeping together, Hermione's reputation is ruined anyway. Don't worry. Over the next few days, I'm going to spread the nastiest rumors I can think of. I'll make her life a living hell until she's too ashamed to show her face in public. What parent would trust their kid with a teacher who's sleeping around with the village creep? Lily, darling, that teaching job will be yours soon enough.
Lily relaxed a bit, but then she pouted. But Mom, she just threw my pillow out. She won't let me sleep in the east bedroom. I don't want to sleep on the floor.
It's hard and cold. Lisa snapped, jumping to her feet.
That little bitch.
I'll teach her a lesson. Earlier, with Albus and the neighbors around, her hands had been tied.
But behind closed doors, a mother could beat her daughter however she pleased.
Lisa grabbed a heavy feather duster from the corner and stormed into Hermione's room.
Hermione was calmly sipping a cup of water.
Hearing the door slam open, she looked up just as Lisa raised the feather duster, aiming straight for her face. I'll kill you, you ungrateful, shameless brat. How dare you humiliate me in front of the village? As the feather duster came whistling down, Hermione's reflexes kicked in. She caught the handle midair, yanked it out of Lisa's grip, and whipped it right across Lisa's face.
Slap! The blow caught Lisa squarely across the eyes.
She screamed, stumbling backward and clutching her face in agony. Hermione glared at her, her voice dropping to a deadly whisper. Hurts, doesn't it? Think about how many times you've beaten me since I was a child. Let me make something very clear, Lisa. You have pushed me to my absolute limit. If you ever raise a hand to me again, I will walk out there and tell the entire village about you and Johnny Cash from the next town over. Do you think I won't?
Lisa froze. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Her affair with Johnny Cash was a buried secret.
They only managed to sneak around once or twice a year. How on earth did Hermione find out?
No.
There was no way.
She was bluffing.
Lisa tried to play it cool, forcing a sneer. You shameless little liar.
Your mouth is full of filth. What could I possibly have to do with Johnny Cash? You dare slander me?
I'll tear you apart. She lunged forward again, but Hermione didn't hesitate. She swung the feather duster, landing several brutal strikes right across Lisa's arms and shoulders. This woman wasn't her real mother. She was a monster who had abused her for years and ruined her family. Looking at her now, Hermione felt a dark, pulsing urge to end her right then and there.
Chapter 9.
Hermione looked down at Lisa with pure disgust. You know exactly what you and Johnny Cash have been up to. I'm giving you two choices. Either you hand over every single dime of my remaining salary right now, or I run out there, find my dad, and tell him everything. Let's see how well you survive when he finds out. And don't think I'm bluffing, I have proof. Hearing the word proof, Lisa's bravado finally cracked. If Hermione really knew the deepest, darkest secrets of her affair, her reaction wouldn't be this controlled. Hermione probably only suspected they were having a little fling. But even so, Lisa couldn't risk the girl blabbing. If Albus caught wind of it and started digging, the truth would eventually come to light. Lisa swallowed hard, forcing a sudden, sickeningly sweet smile. Oh, Hermione, sweetie.
Mommy didn't mean to yell. You're just misunderstanding things. Why would you throw dirt on your own mother's name?
There's absolutely nothing between me and Johnny. If you ruin my reputation, it hurts your father, and it hurts you too. I work myself to the bone every day for this family. You're just upset about your salary, right?
Fine. I'll give you your money. But you have to promise not to waste it.
I know you think I favor Lily, so how about this? From tonight on, you both get to sleep on the bed. Sound fair?
Hermione shut her down instantly. You're giving me my money because you have to.
And this bed, this room, it's mine. Lily can sleep in here, but she sleeps on the floor. I did it for 19 years. It's her turn. Lisa's temper fled again, but before she could speak, Hermione cut her off. If you don't like it, we can play mutually assured destruction. You know Johnny's temper. The second I bring this up, he'll panic and confess just to save his own skin. Let's see if Dad forgives you then.
Lisa bit her lip until it bled.
Johnny Cash was a loose cannon. He had threatened to fight Albus multiple times. If this secret got out, her life was over. She forced a fake, trembling smile.
Hermione, why are you in such a rush?
Mommy will get your money right now. But remember, loose lips sink ships. If we all go down, nobody wins. With hatred burning in her chest, Lisa slinked back to her room and dragged out the remaining $420. She handed it over, her fingers gripping the bills tightly, refusing to let go until Hermione violently ripped the cash from her hand. Lisa stared at her, her smile resembling a grimace. Are you satisfied now, Hermione?
Keep it safe.
Don't go wasting it.
Hermione didn't even look at her as she stuffed the cash into her pocket. I won't waste it.
But since Lily gets a bicycle, new clothes, and a fancy wristwatch, I think I'll buy a bicycle, get some nice fabric for a few outfits, and buy myself a watch too. Seeing Lisa's face turn the color of spoiled milk, Hermione felt a deep sense of satisfaction.
Fine, Lisa hissed.
You got your money, and Lily is on the floor.
You got everything you wanted. Now, it's time for dinner.
Go to the kitchen and start cooking. Hermione sat back on the bed, crossing her legs leisurely. There are plenty of capable hands in this house, and I'm not the only one eating. Who made it a rule that I have to cook 3 meals a day?
Lisa gasped, utterly dumbfounded.
If you don't cook, who will?
Your father and I are exhausted from working the fields.
Your big brother is at the factory all day, his wife is busy with the baby, and Lily doesn't know how to cook. All you do is teach a short class. It is your job to handle dinner.
Chapter 10.
Hermione let out a harsh, mocking laugh. Oh, give me a break.
Was I born knowing how to cook? Lily doesn't know how?
Is she missing a brain? Or is she missing hands? I've been cooking for this family since I was 8 years old. It's her damn turn. Memories of her 8-year-old self flashed through her mind, clumsy, trying to knead dough, getting beaten by Lisa every time she messed up while Lily stood in the corner, laughing at her misery.
The memory sent a sharp ache through Hermione's chest.
If my real mother could see me from heaven, her heart would break.
Lisa took a sharp breath. She realized Hermione had completely snapped today.
But with a girl holding a knife to her throat over the affair, Lisa couldn't risk a fight. She slammed her hand against the door frame in frustration, turned, and stormed out. Lily, who had been eavesdropping outside the door the entire time, immediately ran up to her.
Mom,
what the hell is wrong with her?
She's a psycho.
If she won't give up the bed, where am I supposed to sleep tonight?
And I seriously don't know how to cook. I've never even boiled water.
Lisa's face was dark as she dragged Lily into the kitchen and shut the door. I'll make dinner tonight. You just stoke the fire. Tonight, you'll just have to swallow your pride, throw a blanket on the floor, and deal with it. Lily pouted, her eyes welling with tears. Mom.
Lisa gnashed her teeth.
What choice do we have right now? The girl is unhinged.
We can't keep her here.
I need to find a family looking for a bride, somewhere far away, and demand a massive dowry. Once she's married off and gone, you can have your big bed back.
Lily looked worried.
Married off to who? If you pick just anyone, she'll never agree to go.
Lisa let out a sinister laugh. Agree?
Do you know how your grandfather got me to marry into the Ganger family? He tied me up and beat me until I was nearly dead. Fortunately, Lisa wasn't one to accept defeat. She had her ways. She looked at Lily's face, a face so familiar, and thought of the man she actually loved. A wave of twisted satisfaction washed over her. They were halfway through cooking when a neighbor shouted from the yard. Apparently, someone's chickens had broken into Lisa's vegetable garden and were eating the seedlings. True to form, Lisa dropped everything and sprinted out to start a fistfight. That left Lily alone in the kitchen. The wok was smoking hot, but with Hermione refusing to help, Lily had no idea what to do. Desperate, she went to find her sister-in-law, Jenny Jackson. Jenny had heard the screaming matches all day but had no intention of getting involved. She was currently in postpartum confinement, wearing a thick head wrap, cradling her crying newborn daughter, and feeling utterly miserable.
Lily burst in.
Jenny, you've been in bed for 2 weeks now.
Surely you can get up and do some work.
Go finish making dinner.
Jenny let out a dry, sarcastic laugh. Me? Cook?
What kind of family forces a woman who hasn't even finished her recovery month to cook over a hot stove? Just because I gave birth to a girl. This whole family treats me like dirt. But aren't you a girl too, Lily?
Why does Mom spoil you so much?
Sure, you spend your own inheritance money, but do you not eat the food in this house? Why can't you cook? If you don't want to do it, don't.
Let everyone starve.
See if I care. The baby in her arms wailed louder. Fuming with resentment, Lily had no choice but to go back to the kitchen. She awkwardly dumped water into the pot, threw in some wild greens, and once it boiled, scooped in some flour and a fistful of salt. It was an absolute disaster of a meal. Even she didn't want to touch it. Luckily, she had a secret stash of egg cakes and crispy pastries hidden in her room. Meanwhile, Hermione kept her door locked, completely ignoring the commotion. She wasn't hungry anyway, she had better options. With a thought, she willed herself into her digital farm space. She waited for exactly 1 minute, and when she stepped back out, She checked the time. Just as she suspected, while she was inside System X, time in the real world completely stood still. This changed everything. Excited, Hermione went back inside to explore her new reality.
Chapter 11. System X was incredible.
It had food delivery, online shopping, and a massive farm where she could grow vegetables, plant fruit trees, and raise livestock. The property was breathtaking. A vast, rolling expanse of lush green grass under a clear sky. Nearby, an apple tree was heavy with vibrant, bright red apples. Hermione plucked one and took a bite. It was incredibly crisp, sweet, and bursting with juice. But the real shock came a moment later. As she swallowed, the throbbing pain in her sprained ankle suddenly began to dull. Does the food in this space have healing properties?
She took a few experimental steps.
Unbelievable.
Her ankle barely hurt anymore.
She still had a slight limp, but she could walk perfectly fine. She walked over to a small wooden cabin on the property to store her valuables. Her cash was the priority. She needed it safely hidden where Lisa's sticky fingers couldn't reach it. Fortunately, her System X account balance was massive, giving her the freedom to buy whatever she wanted. She browsed the system's main catalog, her jaw dropping further with every scroll.
You could literally buy real estate.
With a few taps on the screen, she selected a gorgeous luxury villa, hit purchase, and processed the payment. Instantly, a stunning mansion materialized on the green pasture.
Hermione walked inside.
The interior was beautiful but completely empty. She immediately ordered furniture, bedding, and daily essentials. Because this was her system-granted cheat code, everything she bought appeared inside the villa within seconds. After setting up her new home, Hermione took a long, steaming hot bath, ordered a delicious gourmet meal from the delivery tab, applied medical ointment to her head and foot, and curled up in her luxurious new bed for a long, peaceful nap. Only after she felt fully rested did she slip back into reality. While Hermione was living like a queen, Lily was currently in the village kitchen, coughing violently, her eyes stinging from the thick smoke billowing out of the stove.
She had no idea that making a simple wild green porridge could be such a nightmare.
As darkness fell, the rest of the Ganger family started trickling home. Lisa walked in, exhausted and hoarse from her shouting match over the chickens. Her stomach was growling, and she immediately demanded food. Albus returned from the fields, and the eldest brother, Beck Ganger, walked in from his factory job in town, his mouth set in a grim line from a hard day's work. Jenny, still holding her crying baby, complained that she was so hungry her breast milk was drying up. But when Lily finally stumbled out, covered in soot, and set the dinner down, the entire family froze in shock. What the hell was this? It looked like a trough of grey pig slop. It was thick, slimy, and utterly repulsive. Lily whimpered, looking like a kicked puppy.
I told you guys I don't know how to cook.
Uncle, Auntie, Beck, maybe next time we should just let Hermione do it. Right on cue, Hermione walked out of her room, a cold smirk on her face.
If you don't know how, you learn.
There's a difference between not knowing how and just being lazy. I'm not your mother, Lily. Why should I cook for you every day?
Lily's face twisted in rage.
Lisa, losing her patience, snapped. Fine.
Just eat.
It's just porridge. How bad can it be?
Just swallow it down.
To prove her point, Lisa took a huge bite. A fraction of a second later, she gagged. Bleg.
Everyone stared at her. Lisa felt a surge of hot anger.
How could Lily mess up something as foolproof as vegetable porridge? When Hermione cooked, even the cheapest ingredients tasted amazing. Starving and miserable, Lisa glared at Lily. It's pure salt. Lily broke down instantly, tears streaming down her face as she looked at Albus.
Uncle, it's all my fault.
I didn't know Hermione was going to go on strike today. I wasn't prepared. Albus took one sniff of the burnt, salty sludge and lost his appetite entirely.
He let out a heavy sigh.
Hermione was injured today. Besides, we can't expect her to cook every single day forever. Chapter 12. Lisa threw a vicious glare at Hermione, then got up to dump a kettle of boiling water into the salty porridge to dilute it.
The family choked it down just to stop their stomachs from grumbling.
Hermione even scooped herself a bowl, purely to keep up appearances. She carried it back to her room, but the moment the door was shut, she took the porridge into her digital farm to feed the chickens. To her amusement, even the chickens turned their noses up at it. That dinner was an absolute tragedy for the Ganger family. Albus managed half a bowl before going back to the courtyard wall to smoke his pipe to drown out the hunger. Beck sighed repeatedly, and Jenny sat in the corner, quietly weeping with her baby. Only Lisa forced herself to finish a full bowl, though she spent the next 10 minutes dry heaving outside. Seeing everyone's dark mood, Lily begrudgingly dragged herself to the kitchen to wash the dishes. By the time she finished the grueling chore, she was completely exhausted. All she wanted was to lie down, but when she reached the bedroom door, she found it locked from the inside.
A surge of anger boiled up in her chest. She pounded on the wood furiously. "Hermione, open the damn door and let me in."
There was no response. Lily pounded harder, her fists hammering a frantic rhythm.
The noise quickly brought Lisa running. "Hermione Ganger!"
Lisa screamed. "What the hell are you doing? Let Lily in right now." After a long pause, the lock clicked. Hermione slowly opened the door, a serene, pleasant smile on her face. "Oh, I'm sorry. Remember all those years when I'd finished cooking and cleaning, only to find the door locked? Whenever I knocked, Lily always claimed she couldn't hear me. And you, Mom, you always told me to just wait outside because Lily was changing. In the dead of winter, in the pouring rain, I had to stand out here for 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, until she felt like opening the door.
You all knew about it.
So why is it a problem now that the shoe is on the other foot?" She locked eyes with Lisa, her gaze freezing cold. Lisa clamped her jaw shut, furious but trapped.
"Fine. You think you're so clever. Lily, go inside and sleep.
From now on, I'll treat you both exactly the same. You'll take turns sleeping on the bed, and you'll take turns cooking. Understand?"
Hermione smiled sweetly.
"Works for me." As for how they would take turns, well, Hermione held all the cards. She had put in 19 years of labor. It was only fair Lily put in 19 years to balance the scales. Lily wanted to object, but she reminded herself that Lisa was already planning to sell the girl off into a marriage soon anyway.
She swallowed her anger and nodded. "Now go to bed."
"Stop making a scene."
Lisa barked before stomping off.
Finally, Hermione let Lily into the room. Chastised by the earlier threat, Lily didn't dare say a word.
She meekly laid out a thin straw mat on the hard floor and lay down.
Hermione stretched out on the soft, comfortable bed, looking down at Lily on the floor with an immense sense of satisfaction. Lily stared back in the dark, her heart burning with pure malice.
Why didn't the plan with Dustin Cortese work? Where did it go wrong? I need that teaching job. I need to drive this bitch crazy. If Daniel Gru comes back and finds out the truth about our identities. The thought sent a shiver of panic through her, followed immediately by a sharp pang of hunger. Her stomach was eating itself.
She lay perfectly still, waiting for Hermione's breathing to even out so she could safely sneak her hidden pastries out.
She wasn't the only one starving.
Across the house, Albus's tobacco wasn't doing anything to trick his empty stomach. The salty porridge had given Lisa a terrible case of diarrhea, and she spent the night running back and forth to the outhouse, cursing under her breath.
That lazy little brat.
If she had just cooked dinner like she was supposed to, my stomach wouldn't be inside out. Albus just stared at the ceiling, offering nothing but silence to her rants. In the next room, Beck and Jenny were tossing and turning, their stomachs growling so loudly they couldn't sleep, while the baby cried in sympathy. Beck tried to comfort his wife.
Just hang on until morning.
Hermione will probably cook breakfast, and we can finally have a real meal. But right at that moment, a piercing shriek shattered the silence of the night, coming straight from the girl's room.
Arth. Give it back.
Give it back to me, you bitch.
Chapter 13.
The entire household, already wide awake from hunger, bolted out of their beds. Albus and Lisa scrambled to light a kerosene lantern, while Beck and Jenny threw open their door, baby in arms, to see what the hell was happening. In these days before electricity, the flickering glow of the lantern was all they had.
Inside the bedroom, Lily had pulled out a flashlight.
In its beam, her face was distorted with rage as she lunged at Hermione. Give it back. Hermione easily dodged her, holding a bag of golden egg cakes just out of reach.
She let out a cold laugh.
So, for dinner, the rest of the family has to choke down salty pig slop because you don't know how to cook, but meanwhile, you're secretly hoarding gourmet egg cakes in the dark? Even if you bought these with the inheritance money, do you have a single shred of a conscience? Mom, Dad, and Beck work themselves to bone every day.
Jenny is in confinement.
Everyone is starving, and you're in here stuffing your face alone? Do you even consider anyone else in this house family? Lily had waited hours for Hermione to fall asleep, only to be caught the exact second she opened the bag.
She was completely beside herself with fury. I bought them with my own damn money.
I can eat them whenever I want. Why should I have to feed your family? If you want egg cakes, go buy your own.
You're just a bunch of poor, starving beggars.
You're a greedy ghost reborn. Albus, Lisa, and the older couple reached the doorway just in time to hear every single word. The lantern light flooded the room, illuminating the bag of rich, golden-brown pastries. To a family of starving people, the sight of actual food overrode every ounce of reason. Their brains short-circuited.
All they could think about was eating.
Hermione looked at Lily with utter contempt.
Everyone knows you cooked that disaster on purpose.
Any girl in the Western District knows how to make vegetable porridge.
You made it inedible so you could sneak back here and feast on cakes alone. Look at how Mom and Dad treat you. Look at how Beck treats you. Are you really that selfish?
Jenny chimed in from the doorway, her voice dripping with venom.
Who isn't starving around here?
You ruin dinner, and then hide in the dark to stuff your face. Mom, Dad, Beck, you guys raised this girl like a princess. Does she give a single crap about any of you? For the first time, Albus and Lisa looked at Lily with a deep, crushing sense of disappointment. If the family ever faced a real crisis, would Lily just leave them to rot? Sensing the shift in the room, Lily panicked. She quickly changed her tune, holding the bag out with a trembling hand.
Dad, Mom, Beck, Jenny, it's not what Hermione says. I was actually saving these for you guys.
I knew I messed up dinner, so I wanted to share these with everyone. Here, please, take them. There weren't many left, only 7 pieces. Just enough for everyone to get one bite. The starving Ganger family didn't hesitate. They snatched the cakes out of the bag and shoved them into their mouths, devouring them in seconds. Watching her precious treats vanish into their mouths, Lily felt like her heart was being ripped out. She spent the rest of the night tossing and turning, finally drifting into a light sleep right before dawn. But she barely had her eyes closed before a sharp kick to her ribs jolted her awake. Get up, Hermione commanded, staring down at her. Time to make breakfast. Lily rubbed her eyes, bewildered.
What?
We said we were taking turns. Hermione's eyes narrowed into slits.
We are. I've done it for 19 years. It's your turn to put in some time.
You're a parasite living under our roof, eating our food, doing nothing.
Aren't you embarrassed?
If you don't like it, pack your bags and get the hell out of the Ganger family home. Lily knew she couldn't reveal the truth about her identity yet, but she couldn't stomach the humiliation either.
Hermione Ganger, don't you dare talk down to me.
I pay Aunt Lisa for my stay. I have every right to be here.
Who do you think you are?
Uncle and Auntie can't stand the sight of you. You're just a cursed, unlovable brat. If I were you, I'd keep my tail tucked between my legs and do my chores like a good little servant. Keep pushing me, and I'll have Uncle and Auntie throw you out on the street.
Hermione didn't say a word.
She calmly walked over to the wash basin, rinsed her hands, and turned around, flashing a sweet, terrifying smile.
Oh, I'm sure you could try.
You're a very powerful girl, aren't you, Lily? Before Lily could react, Hermione lunged forward, grabbed her by the hair, and slammed her head face first into the basin of water.
Chapter 14.
The sudden rush of water flooded Lily's nose, mouth, and eyes. She choked violently, suffocating in an instant. Terror seized her as she thrashed around blindly, convinced she was going to drown right there in the wash basin. Just as Lily's strength began to fade, Hermione yanked her up by the hair. Lily stumbled backward, gasping for air, staring at Hermione like she was looking at a demon straight from hell. Hermione wiped her hands, smiling pleasantly. Lily, you've bullied me for 19 years.
I strongly suggest you start behaving yourself. Even a cornered rabbit bites.
If you ever threaten me again, I promise you, what comes next will be 1,000 times worse. Terrified out of her mind, Lily couldn't find her voice. She bolted out of the room like a bat out of hell. Naturally, she ran straight to Lisa to tattle. In the past, Lisa would have marched right over and slapped Hermione across the face. But after the feather duster incident, both mother and daughter realized Hermione had broken. She was a live wire, and touching her right now was dangerous. They needed a tactical retreat.
They needed a different plan.
Lisa patted Lily's shoulder, calming her down. Don't worry, sweetie. Today, I'm going out to find a matchmaker. I'm going to look for a family willing to pay the absolute highest bride price. I don't care if the groom is a monster or a fool. The moment they show me the cash, I'm signing the papers and shipping Hermione off. Besides, Dustin Cortez is definitely out there right now spreading rumors about their affair.
Just you wait.
When Hermione goes out today, she'll be coming back crying. A young, unmarried girl in a traditional village had no defense against a ruined reputation. The shame alone would break her.
Lily's mood instantly brightened at the thought.
She couldn't wait to watch Hermione crawl back in tears. Breakfast for the Ganger family was a sad affair: a pot of boiled pumpkin, a few pieces of coarse cornbread, and some pickled radish. Albus sat down, his face falling as he looked at the spread. Beck couldn't help but complain. Hermione usually makes that delicious stir-fried dried radish with chili oil for breakfast. Why is it just plain pumpkin today? Lily, who had accidentally nicked her finger while chopping the pumpkin earlier, snapped at him. If you want to eat that, go make her cook it. Hermione doesn't want to work anymore. What am I supposed to do? She's a fancy elementary school teacher now. She's too good for us. Hermione calmly scooped herself a bowl of boiled pumpkin. It was bland, but edible. She quietly transferred it into her digital farm, where the chickens happily ate it, while she slipped into her luxury villa to enjoy a massive, delicious breakfast spread. When she stepped back out, she caught the tail end of Lily's attitude.
Hermione smiled. Exactly.
It's definitely better to be like Lily, 19 years old, a middle school dropout, with absolutely no job, just lounging around the house like a useless parasite.
Truly impressive. With that, she turned and walked out the door.
Her ankle was still a bit stiff, but she could manage the walk to school. Behind her, Lily shrieked in frustration.
Mom, look at her. She only finished middle school too. She didn't even go to high school.
Who does she think she is?
A flash of guilt washed over Lisa's eyes.
When Hermione had passed her high school entrance exams, the elite county high school had sent an acceptance letter. But Lily hadn't wanted to go to school, and she didn't want Hermione getting ahead of her either, so the two of them had secretly intercepted and destroyed the letter. Looking back, Lisa was glad they did. If Hermione had gone to high school, she'd be completely uncontrollable by now.
Lisa pushed her empty bowl forward.
All right, Lily. Wash the dishes.
I have some urgent business to take care of. The two women exchanged a knowing look.
Lily knew Lisa was heading out to sell Hermione off to a husband, so she happily agreed. Of course, Lily's version of washing dishes was a joke. She threw the bowls into a tub of cold water, swished them around for 2 seconds, and pulled them out. Good enough, she muttered to herself.
With that chore out of the way, Lily practically sprinted toward the village elementary school.
She wasn't about to miss the spectacle of Hermione's public humiliation. Hermione had arrived at her classroom only a few minutes prior and was setting up her lesson. Despite her injuries, she refused to let her students suffer.
She was just about to start when a shadow fell across the doorway. It was Dustin Cortese.
Chapter 15.
Dustin Cortese was the undisputed village creep.
He was lazy, dirty, lived alone, and spent his days looking for petty things to steal and leering at young women. Most sensible people took a detour the moment they saw him coming down the street. Dustin leaned against the classroom door frame, a greasy, yellow-toothed grin spreading across his face as he looked at Hermione.
Hey there, Hermione. The whole village knows about us now.
I just came by to ask, when are we getting hitched? Inside the classroom, the dozen or so young children stared at him, their small faces tight with fear. Seeing Dustin standing there, a cold, murderous rage flared up in Hermione's chest. In her past life, her horrific, tragic death had been orchestrated by this exact man.
But this was the 1980s.
Society was governed by law, and she couldn't just murder him in broad daylight.
She needed a smarter play.
She needed to put him behind bars. The elementary school was small, and Principal Horse quickly noticed the commotion from his office.
He marched over, frowning.
Dustin Cortese? What do you think you're doing here? Dustin, completely shameless, crossed his arms. I'm just talking to my girlfriend, Principal. Hermione and I are in love. We're planning our wedding. By this time, several villagers working near the schoolyard wall heard the gossip and climbed up to watch the drama unfold. Hidden around the corner, Lily Ganger watched with bated breath, already visualizing Hermione bursting into tears and running home in shame. Once Hermione was discredited and fired, Lily could step right into the teaching vacancy. It's just elementary school, she thought.
How hard could it be?
Hermione kept her composure, her eyes locked onto Dustin. You keep telling everyone we're dating. Do you have a single shred of proof?
Dustin stared at the young woman standing at the podium.
She was 19, in the absolute prime of her youth, wearing a crisp white button-down shirt and black trousers. She was slender, with delicate, porcelain skin, rose-red lips, and dark, expressive eyes. Every time she breathed,
He felt a surge of possessive lust. He wanted nothing more than to claim her. His grin widened. Of course I have proof. You sneak over to my house after work all the time. You even left your shirt at my place.
This shirt right here is all the proof I need. You've been leading me on for months, Hermione.
You can't back out now.
You have to marry me. With a flourish, he dragged a white shirt from his pocket and pressed it to his nose, inhaling deeply. The gesture was so repulsive Hermione almost gagged, but she forced herself to stay focused. Up on the schoolyard wall, the neighbors began to mutter. Dustin seemed so sure of himself, and he actually had a woman's shirt.
Maybe there really was something going on between them.
Hermione's initial instinct was to call the police, but she hesitated. If Dustin insisted they were lovers, and Lily stepped up to testify that Hermione was often out late, the cops might just dismiss it as a lover's quarrel.
She needed something definitive. She needed to flip the script.
A slow smile spread across Hermione's face. Dustin, are you sure you haven't made a mistake? Are you absolutely certain you're dating the owner of that shirt?
Dustin threw his chin up proudly.
Damn right I am. Then I suggest you take a closer look at it, Hermione said, her voice echoing clearly for the onlookers to hear. There are 2 girls in the Ganger house, me and Lily. Everyone in this village knows I'm the poor daughter. I only own 2 shirts, the one I'm wearing right now, and the one drying on the clothesline at home. Lily, on the other hand, has more clothes than she knows what to do with. And because she's so particular about her things, she has a very specific habit. She embroiders her own name onto the cuff of every single one of her shirts.
Dustin froze.
His greasy fingers scrambled to unravel the cuff of the shirt. Sure enough, there was stitching there.
But Dustin was illiterate. He stared at it blankly. Principal Horse stepped forward, snatching the shirt out of his hands.
He took one look at the cuff and let out a loud, booming laugh.
Well, look at that. It says Lily right here in plain script.
Dustin Cortez, you absolute idiot. You can't even get your story straight. I'm warning you. If you ever come back here and try to slander one of my teachers again, I will personally have the authorities throw you in a jail cell. Dustin stood there, completely dumbfounded and utterly confused.
This made no sense.
Lily Ganger had handed him this shirt with her own 2 hands, explicitly telling him it belonged to Hermione. What the hell was going on? Rage bubbling up inside him, Dustin turned on his heel. He needed to find Lily Ganger, and he needed answers now.